Berkley. What is it?
The report you gave us yesterday to do, you said we could pick any king or queen and talk about how they ruled and what we can learn from them, right?
Yes, that was correct.
A lot of my friends are doing Queen Elizabeth or Queen Victoria, but I was wondering if I could do someone who ruled in Bible times.
Oh, sure, there's lots of good kings in the Bible.
Can I do one about a bad king or queen?
I guess so. Who did you have in mind?
I was looking at my Bible storybook last night, and I wanted to write about King Ahab and Queen Jezebel. I bet nobody has ever heard of them before.
I bet you're right. I know when I hear the name Jezebel, I don't think that's a good thing. I think she did some pretty bad stuff. But tell me why you chose them.
Well, usually when you hear of kings or queens, you do think of something good or important that they did. But we can actually learn how not to act when we learn about King Ahab. Did you know he used to be a good king who loved God?
No, I didn't know that. What happened? Why did he turn bad?
Well, first off, he married someone who didn't worship God the same way he did. Then she got him to worship false gods. Plus, he's very selfish and greedy. The Bible tells us that there was a vineyard by his house that he really, really wanted. You won't believe what he did to get it. Can I show you in my Bible? I have it here on my tablet.
Sure, go ahead.
It's 1 Kings 21, verse 1 through 4. And it states, after these things, an incident took place concerning a vineyard that belonged to Naboth the Jezreelite in Jezreel, next to the palace of Ahab, the king of Samaria. Ahab said to Naboth, give me your vineyard for me to use as a vegetable garden, for it's near my house. Then I will give you a better vineyard to replace it, or if you prefer, I will give you its value in money. Naboth said to Ahab, it's unthinkable from Jehovah's standpoint for me to give to you the inheritance of my forefathers. So Ahab came into his house sullen and dejected over the answer that Naboth the Jezreelite had given him when he said, I will not give you the inheritance of my forefathers. Then he lay down on his bed, kept his face turned away, and refused to eat. So it's kind of funny. A grown man and a king, but he pretty much threw a temper tantrum by going into his bed with his face to the wall, then refused to eat because he didn't get the land he wanted. I can imagine him pouting in his bed with his arms crossed saying, I won't eat until I get the land I want. I'm 8 and I don't even do that. My mom says he is acting like a 2-year-old.
Right. That is a funny thing for a king to do. It definitely shows his selfishness in not getting what he wanted.
But then his wife comes in. Finds him pouting. When he tells her why, listen to what she does. Can you read verse 8-10? They're done?
Sure. It says, so she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters to the elders and the nobles who lived in Naboth's city. She wrote in the letters, proclaim a fast and have Naboth sit at the head of the people, and have 2 good-for-nothing men sit in front of him and testify against him, saying, you have cursed God and the king, then bring him out and stone him to death. Wow, that's awful. She had him stoned to death over land? I bet that upset God.
It did. Look at verse 19. You must tell him, this is what Jehovah says. Have you murdered a man and also taken his property? Then say to him, this is what Jehovah says. In the place where the dogs lick up the blood of Naboth, the dogs will lick up your own blood.
Wow, so it sounds like he was getting what he deserved right there.
Yes. So when we look at Ahab did what he... So when we look at what Ahab did as king, I was going to show in my report why this is a king we would never ever want to follow. Because King Ahab made bad decisions. He didn't listen to God. First, by not marrying a person who also loves God and worships him the same way he did. Second, by worshiping false gods. And third, by being selfish and greedy, which led to murder. We can learn that even having everything in the world and lots of power and lots of money does not mean we can do whatever we want to get them. It does not lead to peace.
You know, Berkley, I'm okay with you doing a report on King Ahab. I think the kids will enjoy learning about him, and also helps them to see why it's important to do things the right way and not just how we want.
Okay, great. Thank you. I will have a to show to the class on Friday.
I look forward to it.